Hello, fellow CK Bros, and welcome to the CKB-Bytes YouTube channel. This channel will focus on various things concerning Nervos Network, such as how-to guides, basic information about Nervos, and a place to get the latest developments within the CKB ecosystem. In this first installment, I'm going to show you in detail how to use the Neuron Wallet. I will show you where to get the software and how to install it. In the second section, we'll look at the various tabs within Neuron and what they are used for. The third chapter will be a showcase on the possibilities within Neuron. So basically how to send and receive CKB and how to deposit CKB into the DAO. There are more features available within Neuron, which I will cover in other videos. Let's start with chapter 1. First, we're going to visit Nervos Network GitHub page, specifically the Neuron repository. From here, we're going to releases and scroll down to the latest release section. Depending on your OS, you want to either download the Windows executable, macOS, and Linux. Download the executable and run it on your OS. I already did that, so I'm going to skip that. The Neuron Wallet comes embedded with a full node. The team is working on like clients, which makes running a full node not necessary in the future and makes the process of running Neuron a little easier. But running a full node is always a good option, as it furthers decentralization and the robustness of the network. So basically, you could just open Neuron right now, it would start the embedded node and sync from scratch. But what we are going to do is running a node in an extra instance, as firstly, the embedded node could get stuck and you have no way of knowing it. At least in the community we heard that's happening from time to time. And secondly, with an instanced node, you can choose the directory where you want to store the database. So to download the full node, we are going to the Nervos Network GitHub page again, but this time to the CKB repository. Click on releases again and scroll down to the latest stable release. And again, depending on your OS, you choose from macOS, Linux, CentOS, and Windows. Download the zip file and extract it, which I will do now. So, these are the tools to run a full node. You could start the full node right now and it would sync from scratch. But depending on your hardware, it could take you from 16 hours to 1 day, for example. And to speed up your sync time, we can download a block database from Nervos Talk, which gets regularly updated and helps you limiting your sync time tremendously. And we are going to do just that. So we head over to Nervos Talk, turk.nervos.org, to this thread. I will leave a link in the description below. Go to this link, open this link, it will lead you to a Google Drive where you can download the file. The file is currently around 3 GB. It will give you this file, extract it, and then you get the database. So, if you have the database, we're going to make a new folder within the directory called data and drop the database in here. So we're all set and done now. Now we have to run just 2 batch files, one after another. First, the CKB init-mainnet batch file. It will create 2 toml files. Press any key to continue. And now we're going to run the actual node CKB run batch file. So this is how a full node looks like. And as you can see, we're already syncing with the network, and we're already done syncing, because the latest database is really up to date. So we're up to date to the latest block, and now we can run Neuron. With Neuron, so Neuron will take the local node and automatically sync with it. Now we have the opening screen of Neuron. We have various tools in here. If you never ran a Neuron wallet, the logical thing is to create a new wallet. If you have already a wallet seed, you can import it. You can import it from a key store file. And Neuron also supports ledger hardware wallets such as Nano S or Nano X. I will make a video how to make it work with a ledger Nano S at a later date. For now, we are going to create a new wallet, and you will get prompted with this screen. The Neuron wallet is an HD wallet, which means all the private keys are derived from the seed phrase. You just have to remember this seed alone, and you can input it in any other wallet which supports CKB to get the same balance with the same addresses. It's suggested to write down the seed on a piece of paper, don't copy paste it in a file stored on your computer, and especially don't upload the file into a cloud for storage. A seed is the most important part in crypto. Don't give it away to strangers. Now that we wrote down the seed, I'm just going to copy paste it for now. You have a confirmation screen now where you can check if you wrote down the seed correctly, and we're going to hit next. On this screen you can name your wallet. I am just going to name it CK-Browse, and I'm going to give it a unique password. The password encrypts the local key store file on your computer. You will need this password if you want to send funds, for example, and if you lose your password, it's not really a big deal, as you can always restore your wallet through the seed phrase and choose a new password afterwards. The password is only used for your local wallet file. So we're going to hit next. And we get prompted with the overview page of Neuron. On the bottom left corner, you will see if you are connected to the mainnet or the testnet. Normally you automatically connect to the mainnet, and if it's synced or not. Just remember, you can send and you can receive funds even if the Neuron wallet isn't already synced, but the balance will only show up after it's fully synced down here. So don't freak out if a transaction doesn't go through. because the balance will only update after it's fully synced. So now let's go through the various tabs on the top. Under wallet, we can select different wallets. You can create a new wallet, you can import wallet from the seed, from the key store file, from an extended public key, which you will need for offline signing. And you can import the hardware wallet. You can back up your current wallet, you can export the extended public key, again, which you will need for offline signing, and you can delete the current wallet. Edit is not really necessary. Tools are tools for offline signing. I will make another video about that. Window is not necessary, and help. Under the help page, you get links to the various documentation, for example, to the Nervos Network website, to the source code. You can report an issue on GitHub, so the developers know that you encountered an issue. And you can check for updates, for example. It will automatically connect to GitHub and look up if there is a new version available. And if a new version is available, it will automatically download it and install it. If you ever encounter sync issues or balance display problems, I will suggest you to clear the cache. Neuron will then rescan the block data, and normally the balance shows up afterwards. So, now, learning by doing. So let's get ourselves some CKB and test out the functionalities of the Neuron Wallet. I'm going to import a new wallet so I can show you how to do that, because I sent some funds there. Import from key store file. It will search for a directory. Normally the key store file is a JSON file. You can name it whatever you want. Click that, open. I'm going to name it CKB-Node. And you have to provide the password with whom you encrypted the wallet. Submit. And if everything is correctly, it will automatically get imported. So as you can see in the overview, I sent myself some CKB and I deposited some CKB into the DAO. So now let's look at the columns on the left. We have send, we have receive, we have history, and we have the Nervos DAO. The experimental stuff I will leave out in this video because, as I said, it's experimental and not needed for now. I will make another video when those things are in use. So, for testing purposes, I'm going to the receiving address. So, I'm going to catch a receiving address. As it says here, Neuron, every time you receive CKB on an address, Neuron will change the receiving address for better privacy. So don't freak out if the receiving address is ever changing, because if you pick addresses in here, they all belong to your same wallet. And you can always check in here where your addresses are. You can pick any of those, you can name it, you can add a description for it, whatever you like. If you only want to use one address, You can reuse the same address over and over again. It actually doesn't matter. So, for testing purposes, I'm going to send myself some funds. On the send page, I will paste in the CKB address, and I'm going to send me 100 CKB. So, the point in CKB is it's an UTXO model. So, especially UTXO model, where we have the cell model itself is special. So you have normally a change address. For every UTXO, you always get the change address, okay? And in CKB, the change address is a cell as well. So as you have to have, a cell has to have 61 CK bytes, so you can't send someone less than 61 CK byte. Okay? So if I want to send myself now 50, it will tell me it's too small, because I have one cell, one address has to have 61 CKB for cell storage. That's the special model of Nervos. So if I'm going to send myself 100, it's okay. You can add a description, you can add more than one recipient, for example, but I'm going to send this now. Click send. Provide the password. It will jump to the history page and will show you that the transaction is sent, will get picked up by the miners, and then will get confirmed. You can check over here as well. It's pending, and normally after some seconds, depending on the block time currently, we have one confirmation or two confirmation. It's pretty fast actually, but it's already here. So we have send, we have receive. On the history page, you will see every single transaction you ever made. If it's a receiving transaction, if it's a sending transaction, if you deposit it into the DAO. You can click here for more details. You can name, you can give it a description, and you can look up the transaction hash automatically on the Explorer. So as you can see, it just changed now, it's confirming. We have now one confirmation, everything is good. So now to the interesting part, the Nervos DAO. The Nervos DAO is a special smart contract on Nervos where you can lock your CKB and get rewarded each block as long as you keep it locked. For a full explanation of the DAO, I will leave an article in the description below. To lock it in the DAO, you just specify the amount you want to lock. For example, when we go here to deposit, you can specify whatever you want. We have 199 CKB available, and to create a Nervos DAO cell, it needs 102 CK bytes minimally. So if I want to say I want to add 50, it won't let me, because the cell model is dependent on the 102 CK bytes. I can send all, or I can send less, it doesn't matter. But at least 102 CK bytes, which are not compensation bearing, which means those 102 CKB won't get rewards. So if I deposit, for example, 200 and 102 CKB are not compensation bearing, I will only get the yield for 98 CKB. Okay? So we can proceed with that. I already sent myself a DAO transaction. It will, when the first confirmation is done, it will look like that. And you can't withdraw within 16 hours. So I will show you how it looks like after the 10.8 hours. It looks like this. So the DAO is a little bit special. One cycle in the DAO is 180 epochs, which are around 28 to 30 days. You have to make a withdrawal transaction through this button within this time period to be able to fully unlock them after the cycle is over. So basically you get, after the 16 hours after the first deposit, you get this screen, and the arrow will go from here all the way down to green to yellow. And you can make a withdrawal transaction within, you can make a withdrawal transaction whenever you want. But what my point is, when you make a withdrawal transaction from in the gray area to the green area, you can unlock the CKB after this epoch. If you make a withdrawal transaction in the yellow area, it might be that you can't unlock after this epoch and you are stuck again for another 180 epochs. So just keep that in mind. And the Neuron Wallet is awesome because it suggests you when to make a withdrawal transaction and when to not make a withdrawal transaction. And bear in mind, when you make a withdrawal transaction, as soon as you make one, you don't get yield. Okay? You just get yield when you're locked. And when you unlock, when you make a withdrawal transaction, after that, you don't get any yield. So I would suggest always make a withdrawal transaction in the green. And afterwards, after the arrow goes over to the next epoch, this button turns to unlock. This is the final unlock transaction. Then you click unlock, provide the password, and you get the CKB plus the yield back. So basically that's the Nervos DAO. And I think I got everything from my side for the first Neuron Wallet Guide. I hope you liked it. If you have additional questions, which you might have, because Nervos Network is such a unique architecture that it's really hard to grasp sometimes. So don't hesitate to go to Telegram or write me on Twitter, or anyone from the community. Everyone will help you out, no problem. So I will see you in the next video, and don't forget, 1501, trust the plan. See ya.